Hey folks, I'm Alex Story, the co-founder and CEO of Skill Mammoth at skillmammoth.com. We enhance customer loyalty and employee skills with engaging and effective learning experiences. And today we're talking about onboarding. Onboarding is so important, it's so crucial, but so many businesses do it poorly. In fact, 88% of all employees think their employer did a poor job with the onboarding process. And I'm going to share 5 techniques to make your onboarding so good that if you do them right, your employees are guaranteed to be as productive as possible as soon as possible, and they're going to love your brand. Step 1 is one that most companies skip, and that is pre-boarding, because there's usually at least a few weeks between when a new employee is offered a job and when they start at your company. They put their 2 weeks in at their old company, they wrap things up, and eventually they start working for you. And most companies just set a start date and say, see you then, when they accept an offer. You're not going to be one of those companies. Instead, you want to utilize that time to ease any anxieties, reinforce to the employee that your company is the right company for them, and give them all the info they need to have a stress-free first day. So here is what you do. You make a personalized welcome email celebrating that employee coming to your company. This email is going to do a lot. First, it's going to walk them through on what to expect. And if you're sending them a company laptop or any gear, let them know about it. Tell them about any paperwork they're going to have to bring to the office for their first day. Send them a digital copy or a link to the job description, the employee handbook, and give them at bare minimum an agenda for the first day so they know what to expect. And most importantly, give them contact information for someone at the company. You want to invite the new hire to ask any questions and give them a contact for somebody to talk to. Our goal here is to reduce friction and prime the employee for a successful landing on day 1. And though you can keep the email simple, I encourage you to take some time to design it and make it appealing to the eye. I did a project for Success Computer Consulting where I designed an HTML email in Dreamweaver. I put all the information in it that the employees needed, the links, the contact info, and then I embedded not 1 but 2 animated explainer videos that they could click on. One on some of the deep kind of what paperwork to bring on the first day, and one with the sysadmin talking to the new employee on their expectations on what to bring. So they had to bring a smartphone and download a certain app. That campaign was so successful that I had new hires come find me to ask me about that new hire email. They said they never saw someone do that before, and they really appreciated it, and it was an easy thing to add to the hiring and onboarding process, so I encourage you to do that. Even if you add this first step of pre-boarding to your onboarding process, you'll already stand out amongst your peers and be remembered as an awesome place to work. Your employees will thank you for it, and you're going to see those returns on investment with them staying longer at your company and being more productive on day 1. Now, before I get to step 2, I want to take a moment to talk about Skill Mammoth. Right now, we have some amazing resources that kind of tie along with this video. One of them is a free pre-boarding checklist that you can use right now to make your onboarding amazing. So take that, and then also while you're there, join the Skill Mammoth Herd newsletter for weekly editions, as well as insights into the learning and development world. Educating what counts is harder than ever, so check out all of the links in the description if you're interested in learning how training can ensure your brand is irresistible to your customers and that your employees excel. So now on to step 2. Step 2 is the first day. This is all about creating a memorable welcome. This is an amazing experience. You want them to say, wow, that was great when they leave. It's crucial in setting the tone for your new employee's journey. So how do we do that? First, we start with a personal greeting. This is crucial. Make sure there's someone waiting for the employee when they show up. You don't want them to stand there and be like, what the heck do I do? Sit in the office, maybe get to the wrong door. You need somebody waiting for them. And ideally, it's the employees they already know. Right? The hiring manager, some of the people that were on the interview panel, maybe the recruiter. These are friendly faces that can act as warm transfers to help that employee navigate the company and start working with other people. Now, the next step is you want to show the employee their desk. If they don't have a desk, bring that employee to a private meeting room or at least to a private space where they can set their stuff down for now and then take them on a tour of the office or the factory or the building, whatever it is. You want to highlight key areas like the break room where different teams sit or operate, the parking lot where they can park, and of course, you want to show them where the restrooms are. Next, you want to introduce the person to the team and coach your team to be welcoming and celebrate the new hire beforehand. Maybe make it a side goal for every employee on the team to mention to the new person how excited they are about the new team member. And once folks settle down, you want to ensure all their gear is up and running. This is a time to work with their tech. So maybe bring in a tech or sysadmin to work with the employee to make sure they're all set up, and then have them log into any HRIS tools, sign paperwork, sign the employee handbook, get all that stuff out of the way after you do that kind of initial introduction with the team. And now that should be about halfway through the day. And that's when you want to take the employee out to lunch. You want to pay for it, and ideally bring the rest of the team. It's a great way to capstone and celebrate that new hire and kind of compliment that warm welcome that you've been giving them throughout the day. And now here's a secret to really make an impact on that employee's first day. And that is, after they go to that lunch with you, have that amazing experience and camaraderie with their team, I recommend sending the employee away for the day with a thank you and giving them the rest of the day with full pay. Why are we doing this? First off, the new hire has already been inundated with new information. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Their brain is full. They need time off to recoup. So any extra time that they're going to spend in the office is probably not going to be worth it anyway. Second, if you give them a half day with full pay on their first day after paying for their lunch, after this amazing warm welcome, they're going to really appreciate the send-off. They're going to think about that all the time. They're going to go home and say, wow, this company is awesome. I love the way they do things here. I'm excited. I feel valued. I'm going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to kick ass. And you might be asking, hey, aren't I just throwing away money by having the employee leave early? And no, it's actually the exact opposite. Anything you can do to make onboarding an enjoyable and productive experience for the employee will pay back at least a dozen times over. For context, the average cost of replacing an employee is between 16 and 20% of their salary when you factor in lost productivity and the cost of finding talent. So think about a salary that's $60,000, a good middle of the road salary for a typical employee. 20% of their salary is $12,000 that you're just throwing away when they leave. And here is why that onboarding is important, because 69% of employees who say that they had a great onboarding experience stay for at least 3 years. Think about the $12,000 that you're saving by having that employee stay longer with your company, compared to the maybe $100 or so that you'd be losing out of by letting that employee go home early with a full brain, ready to kick ass the next day. So step 3 is to plan for the employee's first week. We've set the stage with that pre-boarding. We've created that memorable welcome, and now we're laying the foundation for the employee. The first week is all about integrating the new hire into their role, and during this week we will want to begin role-specific training, set clear expectations of performance, schedule meetings between them and any key stakeholders or teams that they'll be working with regularly, and take the time to walk them through and describe any current projects or tasks that they're going to be working on. That's super important. Get them working with the projects, get them working with the people, and they'll be set up for success during that first week. You'll also want to introduce them to the company's learning management system and have them take some key courses, like maybe an e-learning about the company's values and perhaps a few software trainings on how to use various internal applications that your company's using. Now, a warning here. It's very tempting when you're getting the employee to work with an LMS to just have them sit down and spend 8 hours a day to take all these required trainings. Resist the urge to do that, because I guarantee that after the first 30 minutes of that employee sitting down taking e-learnings, they're not going to remember anything after that. No matter how engaging a training is or how fun a topic can be, people are not built for that kind of attention span in 2024. Instead, you want to drip and stagger any self-paced modules to maybe an hour a day max. And there's tons of strategies and tactics on how to do this. I'm not going to go into great detail, but if you want to talk some specifics, reach out to us at skillmammoth.com for a discovery call. I'd love to walk you through it, talk through your company's onboarding. But that's the first week. We've laid that foundation. We've given folks an expectation of what life will be like at your organization. Step 4 is the first month. This phase is all about developing skills and relationships. We're deepening the employee's understanding of their role, and we're fostering key relationships. So during that first month, you want to pair them up with an employee that ideally has a very similar role to them. That employee should be a rock star, somebody that you know the new hire is going to learn a lot from. And this person can also be a buddy to have questions answered. So really, you want that new hire employee to watch the seasoned employee go throughout their day and do their tasks, so they know, the new hire knows exactly how the company expects them to do their job. For example, have the seasoned employee share their screen, and do this virtually if you can, because there's nothing worse than hunching over someone to see a laptop screen. Even if the employees are sitting next to each other, I encourage you to use software to have the computer screen shared. If it's a call center, if you're working with folks doing a lot of calls, use software to let the new hire listen in on the call. Instead of only hearing the seasoned employees part of the conversation, you want them to hear whoever they're talking to, a customer, partner, whatever. You want them to hear both sides of that conversation. So use software if you have the capability so that new hire can hear everything, right? And if you have call recordings, those are good resources as well. Now, here's the kicker. That first month is not all just watching someone the whole time. You're eventually going to have the employee switch. And that's where the seasoned employee stands back, watches the new hire do whatever they need to do, and that seasoned employee is ready to support if needed. And that way they have that support. Now, you don't want to do this all at once. You want to start with the new hire having just an hour or so of time to kind of do things on their own with that supporting employee behind them. But gradually, you want to increase the time the new hire is doing the work with the employee to support. And eventually, you want to allow the employee to do the work without any assistance at all. That gradual reverse shadowing into kind of pushing them so they can fly and succeed without any other assistance. Now, that ramp up might look different for different jobs. So maybe we're not reverse shadowing the whole time, but being available for quick chat messages or something to give that employee support. Whatever it looks like, the key is to give the new hire a dedicated resource so they don't implode if they encounter something that they're not prepared for. Because there's nothing more frustrating than being asked to do something that you don't know how to do. So finally, step 5 is your onboarding plan beyond that first month. This is where you foster the long-term growth and set up your new hire for ongoing success. You want them to see a future at your company. So you want to schedule ongoing performance reviews with realistic goals. The key here is realistic. Remember, the new hire should not be expected to do as well as someone who's been here for years. Good employees will prove you wrong, but you should still plan for a learning curve. And during this beyond the first month phase, you also want to discuss career path options, right? Establish yourself as a partner for that employee's growth, show your potential idea of what their path, and ask them what they want to do at the company. Encourage networking and community building, and continue to be there as a growth resource for the employee. Maybe offer a mentorship, suggest mentorships. That is going to be so impactful because that way they have that game plan beyond just collecting a paycheck. So if you implement these 5 steps into your onboarding plan, you will have engaged and productive employees 100% of the time after that first month. Remember, each step in the onboarding process is an opportunity to reinforce your company's values to employee development. So for a free guide with a detailed checklist on all these steps, visit us at skillmammoth.com for more insights and support. Like the video, follow us, and share, and let's make sure that good training doesn't go extinct.